All right, my friends, welcome to another video lesson. And in this lesson, we're going to be continuing our series on basic audio mixing. And in particular, we're going to be adding a sound effect to our montage timeline. So the clip I'd like to support with that sound effect is this nighttime downtown traffic time lapse with these cars rushing by super fast. So let's check it out. So this is something you wouldn't see in real life. Cars zooming by this quickly. This is removed from reality. So we want to support it with some sound that is also removed from reality. So instead of nat sound, a sound effect. So what we're going to do is start with something real and then mix and transform it so that it becomes surreal, like a sound effect. So we're going to head over to our project panel here, twirl down our sound effects bin, and twirl down traffic. And you can see I've got something in here that I've already selected. Let's take a listen. Okay, so it's traffic, it's very realistic, and as it is, won't really do the job. But we're going to transform it. So we're going to start with this to generate what we need. So down here in the timeline, I'm going to compress my nat sound tracks to give myself some more room to work with my sound effects track here. And I'm going to edit what's in my source panel here down to my sound effect track here. So I need to make sure my patching is correct, A1 down to A4. And I've already got my endpoint up here. And I know I want to support this clip in the timeline. So what I want to do is place an in and out at the beginning and end of this clip. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut to mark the in and out point of this clip exactly, precisely. And with the clip selected, I'm going to use the / key. And you can see when I do that, it places an in at the beginning and an out at the end, perfectly designating where we want to put our clip in the source monitor here. So I'm going to use the period key to lay that down, and there it is. So let's take a listen. Okay, so it's traffic, but it doesn't work for this application. So we're going to transform it, turn it into what we need it to be. So we'll use some effects, do some mixing, and see what we get. So the first thing we want to do is speed it up so that it's more commensurate with those cars rushing by. So I'm going to select the clip. And of course, this is Premiere, so there are multiple ways to do this. I can either right-click and choose Speed Duration. And that brings up this Clip Speed Duration panel here. Or with the clip selected, I can use a keyboard shortcut, Command or Control R. Brings up the same panel. So you can see right now it's 100%. It's real time. And I can change that. I can even check this box here and reverse it. If I do that, hit OK, the clip will play backwards. But in this case, I just want to speed it up going forward. So I'm going to change it from 100 to 500%, 5 times real time. So when I hit OK, you can see the clip is compressed considerably because it's basically 1/5 the length that it was at that 500% speed. We'll zoom in a little more here. And I'm going to trim it back out so that it, again, fills my entire clip length here. Let's play through and see what we got. Ooh, okay, so I like the timing of it now. The sound is working very well with what we're seeing visually, but it's much too loud. And we can see that the waveform is relatively under control already, so I'm going to use the level bar here to change the strength of the signal. So with the clip selected, we know I can use my left bracket to drop that bar 1 dB at a time. But let's say I want to drop it more than that. If I hold down Shift and hit that left bracket, I can drop it 6 dB at a time. That's twice, that's 12 dB down. Let's give that a listen. It's pretty good. I think I'll drop it maybe 1, 2, 3 more. There we go. That seems to be playing with the music better. So now I like the way it sounds here, but the pitch of it is just too high. And I want to talk about the difference between pitch and level. Both can be expressed as high or low, but the level refers to the loudness of the clip, how loud or soft it is. The pitch is how high or low the frequency of that sound is, how high or low it is. And in this case, I think it's a bit too high, a bit too removed from reality, so that it's almost cartoon-like. So I'm going to use an effect to fix this, the pitch shifter. So I'm going to head over to my effects panel here and search for pitch. And there it is in audio effects, time and pitch shifter. I'm going to take that, drag it onto the clip, head up to my effect controls, and you can see it's been applied here. I'm going to hit the edit button, and I get this panel I can use to control it. So we've got 2 sliders here at the top, the semitones and the cents. Semitones are much greater graduations of change in pitch than the cents are. It takes 100 cents to make 1 semitone. So I'm going to drag the semitone slider over to the left to like -8 here. And we want to make sure that high precision is checked here, this radio button. It usually is by default, but if it's not, make sure you've got that selected. And then under pitch settings, you want to make sure this box, use appropriate default settings, is checked as well. These 2 things in conjunction increase the quality of the sound effect itself. All right, so let's play through and hear what that sounds like. Very cool. So now that we've dropped the pitch, the sound actually needs to be made a little bit louder. I'm going to bring it up by 1, 2, 3 or so, because low frequencies get buried in a mix very easily, whereas the high frequencies will cut through in a stronger way. So let's try this. That's good. Brought that out and made it more clear in the mix. So the next thing we want to do is get it lined up for use at the boundaries. So I'm going to zoom in here, and what I want to do is align this clip, its arrival, with the departure of the preceding nat sound clip of the forest here. So I'm going to trim the edge of my sound effect over to the beginning of the transition where that forest clip is leaving. And then I want to mirror what's happening up here down here, so that as this fades out, this fades in with the same timing. Now I could select my clip boundary here, hit Shift D, get something that's too long, double click it, change it to the length of the transition above, which is 5 frames, hit enter, and you can see I get what I want. That's a lot of steps, and quite honestly, it's a waste of time. So what I'm going to do is delete that and just copy the one that's up here with Command or Control C, select my clip boundary, and paste it, Command or Control V. Much simpler, much quicker. So I'll zoom out a little bit, head over here to the other boundary, do the same thing, copy, paste, and give it a try. Awesome. Really like it. That works really well. Okay, backslash to zoom to timeline. And there it is. We've got our music, our nat sound, and our sound effect all working together to create a professional, pleasing, balanced mix for our viewer. And through this process, we were always keeping our eye on our audio meters here, making sure that our loudest elements were living around that -12 range. And then using our most valuable tool, our ears, to ensure that everything sounds the best it can. All right, my friends, that does it for basic audio mixing. I'll see you again in another video lesson.